And thank you for coming into Bigfoot Club. This is the 6th episode. I'm your host, Robert Jesse Dominguez, and with me is
C Money
and
Ash.
You like how I just gave myself a nickname?
yeah. C Money. Yeah.
I don't know if that's how nicknames work.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how nicknames work. I'm just
No, you have to be given a nickname. You don't declare a nickname.
okay. So
I'm C Money.
so I guess I'm not C Money anymore. So
We'll come up with something for you.
okay,
So
can it be C Money?
no.
Give me
tried.
something else with the C.
I tried.
Do you guys want to do like any shout outs first? No?
I don't know.
No?
No, I don't know.
Tyler? No?
Maybe. Hey, I don't think he listens. My sister hasn't either been.
She hasn't listened?
No, because she's busy with school.
Well, tell her just to download it.
I did.
Yeah, just download it.
It's like download it and listen to it to the car on the way to clinic.
Listen to it later.
Yeah.
Shout out to my babies.
Shout out to your babies.
Shout out to my wife. I love y'all.
Too sweet.
To get Tyler to listen, it has to be really, really. We have to start screaming into the microphones and have like really high pitched sounds.
Yeah.
And
Hey, I got an idea.
What?
It just came to me.
Mm-hmm.
If the listeners vote for me to be called C Money, can I be called C Money?
Yeah, but we're not going to get a vote.
You're ruthless, man.
Sorry. I mean, we got to.
So hey, listeners, y'all gotta help me out.
We got to hire
Y'all gotta
somebody.
help me out.
We got to hire somebody for social media or
Yeah.
get someone,
Or,
an intern or something.
We gotta get my nickname C Money.
Okay.
we
That's
can
not
create
top
a
priority.
poll with
Yeah.
options.
That's not top priority.
Listen, it's the most important thing.
So, oh man. Okay.
See, he left.
Yeah, he
Upset.
just got up and left, I guess.
It's up to us. We gotta carry the whole thing.
That's all right.
What's
Okay.
new?
I like turtles.
Yeah, we
Came
do.
back. I'm sorry.
Um,
I was hurt just a little bit.
I want to do shout out to my mom because actually she started listening. So, Mom, thank you. I love you.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
Shout out to Joanne Smith at work because she's been listening. Alberto's been listening, right?
All right, yeah.
Security.
Hey, Alberto thinks Chris Jericho is the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
He was in my top 3.
I'll agree to disagree, but it's okay.
Hey, he was in my top 3.
I don't have a top 3, but he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. So who else at work's listening? Jam
Tim
Gleason.
Tim Gleason, Kayla,
Bianca.
They all listen. They listen at work during work. So
who else? Jam Master J.
Jam Master J.
Jonathan.
Ryan.
Okay.
Did Ryan listen?
I think he just downloaded.
I think he just downloaded.
Is there an echo in here?
Is there an echo on here?
I don't know who my people
Horrible.
listen. I got a lot of people that say they will listen, but
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah, anybody that downloads it and listens to it, because I know.
Hey, Justin listened to it at lunch today.
Justin.
Timberlake.
Oh yeah. Okay. No. Oh my God.
You were my sun,
Here we go. Yeah.
you were my earth. You didn't know all the way.
Sorry.
No, not Timberlake. God, I hope so.
Maybe.
Justin
You never
Keith.
know.
Justin Keith.
Justin.
Big-
Big Cali Waves.
Big Cali Waves.
We don't have a theme song.
You put a surfer on those waves.
But everybody that's been downloading, man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. I think my brother in Luxembourg has downloaded too. He said that it wasn't born at home. So
That's good.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm glad.
That's definitely the top thing that we not boring. You know, it
Yeah.
could not be relevant, but at least it's not boring.
Ricardo Dominguez, which is my older brother. I love you. He does El Gato Negro.
El Gato Negro.
So
Which I still have to read the 4th episode.
we're not talking about that right now.
Okay.
We can't talk about that.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Okay, so we did shout outs to everybody at work. I think everybody that's been listening to it. I think Alyssa Perez has been listening to it.
Yes, Perez.
Perez. And I don't know if any of the other IT guys are doing it.
If anybody we missed, sorry. We still love you.
But yeah, we still love you.
Keep listening. Don't stop.
Yeah, till you get enough.
Don't stop till you get enough.
And then keep going anyway because we need.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
numbers.
We need voters for C Money.
Stop. Okay, first subject. You guys ready?
Maybe.
Let's
Find
do
out.
it.
Bigfoot.
I don't know how much more I can handle of that.
I gotta find a new one.
No.
I could do the Whoop one or the one from Columbia River or I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
That's
Just do the talking one.
Yeah.
yeah.
It sounds like Tyler when he was learning to talk. It was
Yeah.
all his words were G's. Like whenever he wake up in the morning, he'd be like, "I want to get go outside today."
Sounds like an auctionist. I was gonna say.
He sounds like Popeye.
Who to give me a 10? I know you to give me 4. Him to give it up.
Get it go, get it guy, get it go.
Oh man. I don't think we're ever gonna get to the subject. But it's okay. It's okay.
Whatever. We're winging it.
I wanted to talk about. I kind of didn't want to talk about, but I guess I kind of want to talk about as Brown Springs, Oklahoma. I did this a while back. I think it was like in, I want to say 06, 05. And I can't remember where I got that information from, but it was I can't remember if it was from a park ranger or a game warden or a police officer or something, but we had a story back in 97 about a lady she was from Gainesville and she was in Brown Springs and she was found naked on top of her car with her, and then she was dead. But the game warden or the officer was telling me that her legs were bent all the way back, broken, and she had, his words not mine, I think, primate semen. So she was killed, and that's what kind of got, I think Ken Marvel was the one that brought this to me, and he wanted to go up there and check it out. So it was me, Ken Marvel, Buddy Britt, and my cousin, I'm not going to say his name because I haven't got permission, and his wife, because he's been bugging me about doing Bigfoot stuff. And I said, okay, you're going to go with me on this one. So he went with me. It was during the day, and we drove up. It was like, I think it was like south of the Windstar Resort. So it was right off 77, off of 35. It was right, it's not right behind it, but it's kind of like off 35 behind Leaper Lake. And it was like on Brown Springs. So we went up there to this, right on Brown Springs, and we pulled up on the Red River, and we parked. It was like, it had just finished raining, and it was pretty like damp and kind of muggy. And so when I got out of the car and we parked right on the Red River, we walked about 2 or 3 miles down the river, and we were looking for, anything, footprints, game trails, tree breaks, whatever. And we didn't really find anything. But when I was walking on the side of the river, I've been to a lot of Bigfoot places, a lot of Bigfoot sighting places, and for some reason, this place just gave me a bunch of negative. I had like a heavy feeling on like my chest, and so it was like really, really weird. And then eventually we found like needles on the ground, so it was just kind of weird.
What time of year was this?
This was probably like around August.
So it's the middle of summertime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like August, maybe September, maybe the end of August, start of September.
Okay, so
It wasn't hot. It was kind of cool.
it wasn't the middle of summertime. It was kind of
Right.
towards the end. Okay.
So And it was funny because like we walked around for a while. We looked at some stuff, and I was showing my cousin because he was wanting to do Bigfoot stuff, and it was like in the afternoon. It was like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And normally I do Bigfoot stuff at night, and so I didn't feel comfortable taking him out after dark because he had never. I don't take everybody in the woods, even if they're family.
Right.
I just don't do that.
Is this like thick woods?
It's not. I mean, it was like whenever you pulled into when you got off 35 and you go between Brown Springs and Leaper Lake. It was like a dirt road, and some parts had wood, some parts didn't. But we were right on the Red River, so it was a lot of open areas, and there was like a lot of trees, and it was.
What, were y'all trailing the river?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were. So we were doing that. And then we get back to the vehicle, and it was like a tree, and it wasn't like an old tree or a dead tree. It was a tree that was actually pushed over in front of Kenny's car. And like I mentioned before, it had just rained, and so the ground was kind of damped, and so there was footprints all around his car. And I kid you not, there were like at least 13-inch prints. And we didn't have any casting material.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did y'all
Nothing.
Did y'all cast or
No.
take pictures, anything?
We actually took pictures, but that was it was a long time ago, and I have to look through my stuff whether I had.
Was this a tiptoeing? It was the full print.
It was a full print, and it was like almost like the footprints leaded to the tree to push it over. It was just kind of odd, and we walked up to the car and we looked at it. It was like me and Kenny and Buddy just all looked at each other, and my cousin, he didn't really know what was going on, so we kind of just all looked at each other and we kind of just gave each other like the look, like uh-oh, we got some stuff going on.
Time to dip, baby.
So we eventually told my cousin. I said, okay, this is Bigfoot stuff, because these are prints, and we were showing them like the prints and stuff, and he was getting a little nervous. And I feel bad for him. And about 10 minutes later, we had a call across the Red River on the Texas side, yelling back at us. So it was really, really loud and really, really long.
Now, was it similar to the call that you had in? Was it the Hallsville where you had the call?
I had a call in Hallsville,
Yeah.
and I had a couple of calls in Sulphur Springs.
Was it similar to these calls?
The one in Hallsville you could tell it was kind of far away.
Yeah, and it was like it wasn't really long. It was to compare it to anything, it kind of sounded like a gibbon. Like it was really high, kind of high pitched.
Yeah.
And it was just like a real quick, like whoop kind of sound. But I mean, that was it. It was just like hard and quick,
right,
and then done. That was it. And then that's immediately after that was when it started chunking stuff at us.
Yeah. But the one in Sulphur Springs I had, it's sounded really, really close, and it was like long and loud, and it vibrated in my chest. This was, you could tell it was like a distance away on the other side of the river, and it was like a tree line. We looked at the tree line. We didn't see anything, but you could hear it on the other side of this tree line. And I would probably guess it's probably, I don't know, maybe half a mile away. I'm just guessing. So, but it was pretty loud, and at that point, my cousin, he was freaking out, and sorry, man. So he was freaking out. He was telling us
He wanted to go.
You wanted to go.
Yeah, because
You wanted this.
I think we should go. That's what he was saying. And his wife was with him too, and I said, "Give us a minute." So
Go sit in the car.
So eventually we end up leaving, but it was probably the first time I actually did a Bigfoot, other than a sighting report. I went out to go check it out during the day, because normally I go at night, and that's when you usually go for more activity at that time. So
when you get back, you walk up to the car. There's this tree. How big is this tree?
it was probably. I would probably say like it was enough for you to put your arms around it.
Okay.
Completely, and just hug it completely. So I don't know. It was a pretty big tree,
A decent sized tree.
and it was like
I'm not good at measurements in math, so
yeah, I'm not either. So
Was it like a pine tree? Or
yeah, it was
a pine tree.
it was almost like it was close to the embankment. So a lot of its roots was already like shown already, and so whatever pushed it, and then just helped it, and just.
So was the whole tree down?
Yeah, it was the whole tree. It wasn't broken. It was just like just the whole.
You said it was raining.
Yeah.
Was there heavy winds?
No. Nope.
No heavy winds. And I mean, you said there's footprints. You said there was footprints like it was walking towards the tree.
Yeah, it looked like it was just one singular Bigfoot. It looked like it was like it walked around the vehicle. And
and
walked right over to the to the tree.
To the tree. I was gonna ask if there was other footprints around, like going different directions. It was just a single. It was a solid path of this.
Yep.
This one walking.
It looked like it came up through the river, out of the river, and then around because like we parked really close to the river.
Okay. So. And I want to go back to Patty for a second. Mm-hmm. They said that and I've read a couple of things on Patty where her stride was so big that a normal man couldn't duplicate it without falling over.
Right.
Were these similar strides? Were these strides large? Did you try to mimic these strides? Did you try to put your feet, or did you do any of that?
Now that you mention it, because actually I had to jump from one footprint to the other just to match it. Because I think Kenny got pictures of it, but I took off my hat because we didn't have a ruler.
Yeah, you didn't have anything to measure it against.
So I took off my hat and he took pictures of it. And whenever I was trying to mimic it, I had to jump because I'm 5.
Probably 5'7". I'm 5'6", and you're probably an inch taller than me.
5'7". So I had to jump from one footprint to the other. So it was pretty distant.
So it was a decent.
I never thought about that until you just asked me that question. But yeah, I had to jump for it. I had to jump to the next footprint. And
when these footprints, because I'm trying to think of this area that you're in, and these giant footprints that are this far apart. Mm-hmm. But what was the area? I know you said it was raining, so it was obviously muddy. Mm-hmm. But what was the I don't know, the range of what size area were you in? Because you said you were kind of in the woods, you were trailing the river.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where was the car parked? I mean, you said you saw the roots on the embankment. So the car is parked close to the river. Y'all get out. Y'all walk down. Y'all come back. What I'm trying to get an idea of the size of the area that y'all were in.
It's once you go down Brown Springs Road, you go past the Brown. Whoa!
Oops.
You okay?
Yeah.
We had a technical deal going on right here. So, like I was saying, once you go down Brown Springs Road, you're gonna pass Brown Springs Indian Cemetery, and so there was some parts of that area that was open like a marsh. Some parts that had field, and then it had like a cluster of trees. It had a cluster of trees right before you got to the river. For some reason, I don't know why. It was like maybe, 50 yards worth of trees, and then it goes straight into the river. So you can't actually see the river from where you're at. From where we were at, you pulled up and you went down these dirt roads. And it was like some parts it was an open field, and some parts it had marshes, which I thought was kind of strange. And then this dirt road leads right into the Red River. Like if you want to, it's almost like someone was there. It wasn't a trail, but you could tell vehicles had gone through there. And so it's almost like people parked there, maybe, drank or.
Because I'm thinking that if there's a lot of trees around, this guy's got, if he's got this big of a stride, he's got to be dodging a lot of trees to have. So you had to be kind of in an open area.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said there's kind of open areas. There's wooded areas.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if this dude is this big and he's that big of a stride,
it almost looked like it was like maybe ATV areas. So the trail that we took, it wasn't dirt, but it was grass, but you could tell vehicles been driving through it, or ATV. Mm-hmm. And so whenever we drove as close as we could to the river, and there was like an opening, like almost like someone had a truck that would take a canoe down there.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we parked right there. I said, there's an opening right there. We just parked right there, and there was a cluster of trees around it. And so you know, whenever we got out, I didn't even manage to look. I mean, I'm pretty sure if it was a tree that was looking like it was about to fall, we wouldn't park next to it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But
I would hope you wouldn't.
Simone,
So, catch your tone.
yeah.
So when you get back, you see the tree down. I'm just kind of be going through. You see the tree down. You see the footsteps. You have to jump from one step to the other.
Right.
I want to go back to this heavy feeling.
Yeah.
That you were feeling when you first pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you felt it on your chest. I don't know if you said it on mic, but I remember off mic.
Yeah.
You said you felt it like on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
What? Kind of go into detail about that.
Okay. You know, I do a lot of paranormal stuff too, so it's almost like going into a paranormal area that you know paranormal, you know, activities happening, and you go into an area and it's like it's hard to breathe. You know, it's like almost like something's pushing on your chest.
Yeah.
And I've been to hundreds of Bigfoot places. You know, 7 different states, and I've been in like stuff at dark where you can't even see your hand in front of you, and I've been to places where, you know, there's probably panther or bear, and you know, I've been scared, but when I got out the car there, it just felt like very negative and almost like a paranormal type of feeling, like it's like maybe death or something, or I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know if it's a portal or just we're close to a ley line. I don't know, but it just felt like a paranormal. And I was doing Bigfoot stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just really, really strange for me to have that.
I wanted to ask you that because I remember, I don't know if it was the last show or a show. It was one of our shows. We talked about how some Native American tribes and the Salish tribe, they are up in the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
They believe that Bigfoot can cross over into the paranormal world and come back as it pleases.
Right.
And that's what struck me kind of interesting about. Now, this was Pacific Northwest, but it did say they were scattered around, you know, different areas. But that kind of struck me as, you know, interesting. Whenever you say you get out, you feel this heavy feeling on your chest. You feel this kind of just empty feeling, I guess, maybe this bad aura, negative energy, and then you get Bigfoot activity.
Right.
So it kind of piqued my interest in the belief of the Native Americans in how Bigfoot can go in and out of the paranormal.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you to go back to that. I mean, I know we're going to talk about paranormal later.
Right.
But it just piqued my mind. Now, have you ever in any of your other hunts for Bigfoot ever felt anything like this in an area before?
I did a thing. He's already passed away already, but Rob Riggs wrote Bragg Road. It's over in Nacogdoches, and I went out there with him to do because we were doing Bigfoot investigations in that area. And supposedly he writes a book about, you know, orbs and Bigfoot. And so I was not, at the time, I was not into that.
Yeah. Did you hear me? I groan. This is like orbs. Oh,
yeah. Do you want to?
Well, you know, I was wondering too, and this is kind of, you know, just, and I'm looking it up too. There's a lot of theories that they use infrasound, like a lot of predators do that, like tigers, and that's how elephants communicate. And I feel like in one of my experiences that I had with Luke when we were out at Billy's, that happened to us, that we got blasted by infrasound. And that's the kind of feeling that I got, like, you know, where you get like that adrenaline rush, like, oh, something's going to happen. And we all got it at the same time, just like a chill, and like it runs up your spine, and it's just like, okay, it makes you have your fight or flight kind of instinct going.
Right.
And so maybe possibly that's what that was, is kind of what I you know, I was wondering too, is, you know, trying to think from a of this world, you know, of our known sciences, because I'm not going to say that anything that's paranormal, and it's just, to me, that's just stuff we don't know how to explain it yet.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to figure out, it's like, it might be like these low frequencies, because when a lot of times when we go into places that are allegedly haunted, a lot of times that comes from EMF. You get that feeling, and it messes with your head, and you get that
That's cool.
that being watched feeling, whatever.
It could be possible. I mean, because, man.
It's theoretical, but it's definitely kind of that feeling, like that, ooh.
Did
Yeah.
you
That's
notice?
gonna happen.
That's how I felt whenever I got out of the car.
Did you notice any like electrical lines near?
You know, that might have been, because I don't remember, though, because that's normally what I look for, is electrical right-of-ways and gas right-of-ways.
I mean, that's why I went back to that, because
Right.
you say that they use those as pathways, as
Right.
kind of.
I mean, I was just wanting to get back to Rob Riggs stuff. I went out to Bragg Road with him, and I was near Nacogdoches, and I went out there with him, and he had just released a book, and we were supporting him because he was going to be in the first Bigfoot conference. He was going to be a speaker, so we went out there just to go out with him and assess stuff. And I was at Bragg Road, and there's like a lot of lore, paranormal stuff out on Bragg Road. It's supposed to be like where a train used to be, and the train conductor fell out of the train and had his head cut off. And so the story is that he's in the middle of the night. He looks for his head with a lantern. So he's
Really?
yeah. So
Because, interesting story, in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, that exact same story,
really,
exact same story, or a similar story, you know, that there was a train conductor, and he got killed somehow and lost his head, and then you see a light. It's not Arkadelphia, it's right outside in the little town called Gurdon. It's the Gurdon Light. And that was one of my first ghost hunts. I went with my dad and my cousin and her husband in like July. We didn't see anything, but it was cool. I think I was 12 years old. But yeah.
So
it's
where
very, very
this was in
Gurdon, Arkansas.
Gurdon, Arkansas. Where's
this in Nacogdoches?
Okay, so that's pretty far apart.
Yeah, it is.
That's a ways apart.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that I was out there with Rob Riggs and all of TBRC when the TBRC was good, which was a long time ago. But I didn't feel anything paranormal out there. I just didn't.
And this is a place that's known for paranormal.
Yeah. And so I didn't feel it. And you know, Rob Riggs he swears up and down that there's a lot of paranormal stuff there, and it's related to Bigfoot. And so
Just might have caught it at the wrong time.
yeah, just caught it at the wrong time. We were there one night and we left the next day. So, but this Brown Springs, I mean, it was like, I can't explain it. It was just like really, really negative, and it's like heavy. It's almost like I was being drained, you know?
Right.
Like I needed a Red Bull or something. So,
Or some red drink.
Caitlin, that's for you.
You needed to down a big old bottle of red drink. So do you? I know that we've discussed the Native Americans,
Yeah.
thinking them going in and out and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What is your stance on that? What do you? Because the reason why I ask is because in all of the Bigfoot stories you've told me, and all the ones that you told on mic, all the ones you told off of mic, you've never ever once mentioned this kind of feeling
Right.
on a Bigfoot hunt.
Right. You're absolutely right. And I've never have. So, I went to, this was probably like 09, 08, Hanoba's first Bigfoot conference. And I went up there and I met, you know, a lot of good people up there. I actually met up with Todd Partain up there. And I met
Shout
up.
out.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
Push.
I met up with him up there, and he was doing a documentary at the time, because anybody who knows Todd Partain, he's got some documentaries out and really, really good stuff. And he was doing interviews, and I was helping him out with it. So
Eyes in the Dark. It's really good.
yeah, it's really, really good. I think for a while it was Amazon's bestseller. Eyes in the Dark.
And Eyes in the Dark.
Yeah, it's not really about Bigfoot. It's about Bigfoot hunters and their stories and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's really good.
Oh, okay.
It's how he got into Bigfoot and stuff.
So it's from their perspective,
Right.
Okay.
And he's a good dude. Love him to death. I haven't talked to him in years. Sorry, Todd. But I was up there, and he interviewed a bunch of people, so I was helping him out. So I was screening the people before he was interviewing in his documentary, and I met up with a lot of Native American people in that area, and so a lot of them believed that that's the reason why, and this is their words, not mine, that the white man won't be able to document or film Bigfoot because they believe that whenever a Bigfoot's being, it's around, it can turn itself into anything. A raccoon, a beaver.
It can shapeshift.
So, yeah, that's like the Lugaroo
Yeah.
story is that it's a shape-shifting woman, and it's kind of skirts the line between like a vampire and a werewolf, but it's
Right.
it kind of fold in, a lot of, as time goes on, of course, this story and that story gets combined, but
Right.
it's kind of like that,
So my understanding of all this is the Native Americans, they are very set on this thing being from the paranormal world, or very. It's a very spiritual being to them.
It is. It's a part of the earth.
Yeah, it's a part of the. And I know that we had talked before that the ancestors believe they believe their ancestors came from
The underground.
the underground, and whenever you look back, that's the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like we that are not Native Americans have, and this goes back to lazy poop cowards, have turned this into something of just a commercialized figure and got away from the spiritual aspect of
Right.
this that the Native Americans have known long before we were here, long before we even knew what they believe. And it goes back to the like we said, the lazy poop cowards that don't want to take the time to research. They just want to gain notoriety and money.
Evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Autograph picture.
but it was very interesting to me. This story, above all of them, I think intrigues me more than anything,
Right.
because to me, this story connects the Native American history with the current history of kind of whenever this dude coined the phrase. J.W. Burns, I believe, coined the phrase Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And brought it into, I guess, what we say modern day Bigfoot as we know it now. But it just,
And Jerry Crew was the one that had the construction or
Yeah,
the logging.
yeah.
Right.
He-
Where
but that was also Native American.
Right.
It was on Native American ground, and he was using Native American workers.
Yeah.
So I just thought it very, very intriguing, this story to me, because not any other stories, and you've told me more than what we've talked on, Mike, but none of them have ever started out with,
Yeah.
man, this is Brown Springs is known as a paranormal area.
It is.
It's known. I mean, there's a lot of. It used to be called the dumping grounds. It might even be still called the dumping grounds, the body dumping grounds, or.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, I'll get into it here in a little bit. And I'm just, trying to, wrap my brain around this. You having kind of a paranormal moment.
Right.
But what is, because you said right after this you hear a call.
Yeah.
You see a tree pushed down. You see prints.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering, maybe there's something to this.
Yeah.
This spiritual aspect of I believe in paranormal. I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But maybe there is some kind of connection. Maybe there is some kind of, maybe the Native Americans have something going on here.
Yeah.
And it is, and I'm not saying by any means this Bigfoot's out there shape-shifting into squirrels and badgers, and I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
I'm just saying that maybe what the Bigfoot actually is a being, a spiritual being that we as modern day Bigfooters, or whatever you want to have turned into this big hairy monster. I don't know. I'm just kind of, my brain's kind of going 100 miles different ways right now, because this is the first time that I've ever heard. This is the first time I've ever heard this story. Period.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't told either one of you the story.
Yeah, I've never heard this.
You know, I kind of like I touched on it earlier, but you know, when it comes to folklore and mythology and things like that, people use what they understand to describe something.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm open-minded, maybe, you know, prove me wrong, but
Yeah.
it could just be that because this thing is smart and it's easy to hide, that that's how they described it. Because to them, it seemed like, wow, it's gone and it appeared over here. Well, maybe it's a different thing, you know?
Yeah.
That it's a little bit of, you know, it's just kind of like anything like that. I mean, I kind of use this example a lot. It's like, pretend like you've never seen an elephant before. What is that? It's a monster.
Yeah.
It's from another world.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like not from
huge.
here. What is
Yeah.
that? You know,
It's-
anything, a lot of things that we know now, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it's beyond our perception, you know?
Well, and I go back to that. We all said that if you go into, and this is on the paranormal side, if you go into an investigation knowing the history of that investigation, you're looking for
Right.
whatever that history is. Well, if you're going into a Bigfoot hunt and all you know of the Bigfoot is what you know from history,
Yeah.
well, obviously you're going to go be going in for that. You're going to be looking for this big hairy monster. Well, I mean, if Bigfoot is out there, maybe he is this big hairy monster. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't believe he's out there. But this paranormal aspect of it and this story right here, and all the stuff that you've talked about the Native Americans and it being of a spiritual realm, it can go in and out of the spiritual realm. Man, it might play tricks on people and make them see this big hairy monster instead of what it actually is. I don't know.
Yeah, I think when I first got into TBR, when I first got into Bigfoot stuff, and Luke was from this school, and I know he's changed, and when we get him on, he can confirm this. But when I first got into Bigfoot with Luke, his teachings were this thing is flesh and blood, nothing else. It's not a ghost. It's not a ghoul. It's an ape.
It's a big hairy monster.
It's an ape, and
Yeah,
it's evolved. And so I was that way too for the longest time.
I feel that way, but also when it comes to the spiritual aspect, a lot of my beliefs are very nature-based. I
Right.
think that we as people there's a lot more mysticism and things to us, and it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it was like supernatural or anything like that. It's just, again, you know, energy and connecting. It's like you can get down to the science of it to where we're all, I mean, look at particles. We're all touching. We're all connected somehow.
Right.
And how we perceive that is sometimes different. I think a lot of times that we as people, modern people, we don't tap into our natural side a lot. We don't perceive of a lot of things like this, but then you put us in the woods and that starts to come back a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think you talk about it naturally comes back because
Yeah.
that's when that instinct comes back.
Right.
But if it's not in that situation, it's kind of taboo to tap into that
Right.
that natural part of yourself, that instinctual part of yourself. Because I mean,
And then, you know, because we don't understand what this is. It's
the-
a ghost. It's something we don't understand.
Exactly,
It's something
yeah.
scary, but it's just something that we have, you know, put back in the back of our head. It's our primitive brain, and we don't listen to it anymore because we don't have to in modern world.
yeah, because I mean, I don't live in the woods, and I don't have to rely on my natural
Right.
caveman or whatever woodman activities to get through. I go to work, I make my money, and I buy the goods that somebody else makes for me. So
Yeah. I'll give an example too. It's like, you know, I have anxiety problems, and a lot of times anymore, I get really anxious and start feeling bad, start getting headaches and stuff before a storm comes. And, you know, I started looking that up and like trying to figure out why around the, you know, it's like, well, maybe it's this, you know, and that is common in a lot of people, and you wouldn't think about that because that's not something that people do. It's like we're not tapped in, but barometric pressures and things like that. It's really something that does affect us, and we don't realize it because we don't migrate anymore. We don't,
Yeah, we're here. We live in, pretty much the same area our whole lives. And, well, I can, Britt, she's had multiple knee surgeries. And, man, when it gets bad weather, cold weather, the weather changes, her knees will she can tell me when the weather's going through what it's going through because of her knees. And,
Yeah, I've had knee problems in high school, and I have the same thing.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, but I've had, my shoulder reconstructed, and
it's different.
It's different. It doesn't, when the weather changes, it doesn't bother me. It bothers me when I use it too much, but not anything. I don't know. I just think, we do have the ability to tap into that part of ourselves. And I know my papa. My papa was born and this is my dad's dad. He was born in 1903. So he grew up with absolutely nothing. And man, he could look outside, and this is just from being there. But he could look outside, and man, I guarantee you, he could tell me within a 2-minute time that, hey, there's a storm coming, and it's going to be here at this time, and it's going to last this long. I'm like, man, how do you do that?
He's all natural.
Yeah, and but again, he grew up with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have everything. I could pull my phone out right now and the Doppler radar is going to tell me all that. But they didn't have all that whenever he was growing up.
But
he's before his time.
To get back kind of on topic where I was just trying to go. But maybe that's what that feeling is. It's just your primitive brain going, there's a predator in the area. There's something that can mess with you.
Yeah.
You need to hide, other than maybe it's a scary monster and it's giving us energy, or it's it could just be something that is within our understanding that can be explained, but the layman might not understand what it is.
Yeah, because I can tell you this, and I'm gonna compare it to dog in a second. Oh, I guess right now, because whenever somebody, my dog, well, I have 2 dogs, but my big dog, he's 82 pounds. And when somebody that he doesn't know, or even he did it with my dad the other day, and he knows my dad, but when somebody's coming up to the house and he doesn't know them, he's going to let us know that, hey, there's something coming up here that's not right.
Right.
And I'm going to go into, I'm about to protect my family mode. Or as my oldest daughter calls them, my people. She says he protects his people. So, but he does. He'll go into that mode of, but then whenever he realizes, okay, it's good, he'll lay back down. I think we have that in us too, and that's exactly what you were talking about, Ash. Is, hey, maybe you got out of this car and you're like, hey, my internal instincts of there's something big and dangerous in this area, but I go back to, this is the first time you've ever felt this, and you've been in areas and you've had Bigfoot encounters before. So at this time, I mean, I guess they might have been kicked up 100. I don't know.
Well, and theoretically, I've heard a lot of people that have talked about this area say that what's out there ain't the same as everything else.
Yeah.
It's a lot more violent. It looks different. It acts different. It could very well be a different thing entirely, or a subspecies or something like that.
Yeah.
And that could be where it's coming from, because more often than not, from what I hear, they're not aggressive, but these around here definitely are.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've read several stories about this area.
Before you get into that, I just wanted to say, when I was saying before that when I first got into TBRC, Luke thought it was a flesh and blood.
Oh yes,
and I thought that way too for the longest time, until I broke away from the TBRC, and then I started talking to other people. I started talking to Native Americans, and now I'm more open minded. I'm more open minded on the spiritual stuff with Bigfoot, and because I go, man, I thought this for the longest way, that it was just blood, it was just flesh and blood, and is an ape and whatever. But I've talked to so many people, and they've opened my eyes, and I I just keep an open mind on it, and I just say, okay.
I mean, those things can go hand in hand. I mean, look at let's look at humans. We're not just, blood and guts and bones and stuff. We have a soul, we have a mind and stuff, and it's just like, what's to say that this is any different,
Right.
It can still be a tangible thing, but it could still, be of more consequences.
Yeah.
Like, Native Americans see
All
animals, all things in nature that way a lot of times. And
so I was just going to say, I think I do talk to them, and I still keep an open mind, but I use it as a guide and not as evidence completely, because to me it's just conjecture. And
yeah, you can have your beliefs, but you don't necessarily have to be like, this is what it is. It's
Yeah,
like,
this
this is
is
what
it.
I feel, this is how I am, but I don't have anything to
this
back
is
it
it.
up. No, you
this is
can't.
it. That's
I think anybody
Yeah, I know.
that's rigid in that is
'Cause,
waiting to be proved a fool, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I could be wrong, but TBRC we had to sign like a waiver, and we had to like sign like group rules.
Yeah.
We had to do that, release liability, all kinds of stuff, consent. And I remember, hopefully I'm right, but I remember we had guidelines that we followed, and it was like, I think it was, we thought it was flesh and blood, and we didn't deviate from that. And so
Right.
once I left TBRC, and I was just more open minded, and I expanded, and it's just, man, because like they had a regiment that we had to think a certain way. We had to take so many people out in the field, and we had to get evidence in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a team, that's kind of how you have to do,
Yeah.
because you have your brand and whatever, and you have the stand books. That's why I don't like organized teams anymore, because how I feel is one way, and how I want to do. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to be like, okay, here's our logo, and we have to make sure that we have good press and everything. I don't give a shit. It's too hard to really get something done when you have to stay within a boundary, honestly.
So back to your
I've read several stories on this, and again, I've never heard of Brown Springs until we've talked about it tonight. Never been there. I've heard of Thackerville, Oklahoma, but I never heard of Brown Springs. And but I've read several stories, and every story that I've read has mentioned something about this place being just different from anywhere else.
Right.
That it's just there's firsthand testimonies in stories. I won't share any of those. I'm just going to kind of share. This is a Facebook. It's from Haunted History on Facebook, and it's about Brown Springs. There is a personal testimony in here. I'm not going to share that part. I'm just going to kind of share the history of the area. But they do mention that this is different. They'll mention, hey, I've gone on, multiple paranormal investigations, and this place just feels different.
Yeah.
Right.
There's just something different about this place.
And I didn't know that about this post at all.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you. You just answered my question. I was just gonna. Did you know any history of this place or any? You're just going Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just going off the story of the 97
Yeah,
girl from Gainesville. So.
You know that this lady, this young lady died, and supposedly a Bigfoot raped her.
That was the rumor.
And yeah, that's the rumor. That's why I said supposedly. The rumor was this Bigfoot raped her and left her disemboweled and dismembered on her car. But this little snippet here. It says Brown Springs, Thackerville, Oklahoma. Brown Springs is also known for its body dumping pass. Nestled in a low area near Chickasaw Smoke Shop, Brown Springs flows to a nearby lagoon. Its neighbor is a cemetery founded in the 19th century, and I think you even mentioned that in your story.
Yeah.
That it was next to a cemetery.
Yeah.
So it's 19th century cemetery.
There's supposed to be a bunch of Native American mounds there too.
Yeah. A story that I read earlier mentioned the Native American mounds.
Okay.
And again, I'll go back to those Native American mounds just because of the Native Americans believing that this can shapeshift into the paranormal. It says over the past 20 years or so, several bodies have been found in Brown Springs. Some of the bodies met violent deaths, and this is intriguing to me. It says met violent deaths in Dallas and then were brought to Brown Springs and dumped. I read another story that said there was a lot of mob activity. A lot of mobs used this area to dump their bodies.
Wow.
Because it's such a remote area. It's so, just in the middle of nowhere.
It is.
Like-
it is.
So
During the golden age, like Al Capone times and things like that.
yeah,
Well, that's interesting because they did. I'm from Southwest Arkansas, and a lot of them would go to hot springs for the spas and stuff to hang out there. They've got a museum down there, and a lot of like the major famous, like Al Capone and stuff like that, they would come down there to vacation and to like make deals and stuff. So they did frequent this area.
yeah. So this was a dumping ground for mobsters because and back in that time, WinStar wasn't there or casinos weren't there. I mean, it was truly just trees and a river and marsh. So, it says, and then during the 1970s, another body, a body was found around 1989. The last one, this was the story that you had mentioned, and
Right.
it just touches on it just very, very briefly. The young lady from Gainesville, Texas, whose body was found in Brown Springs laying on top of her automobile. Her body was found about June 1997. This story doesn't go into the actual disembowelment, but I did read other stories that go into that.
Right.
I'm not gonna because they're pretty graphic.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into that. If you want to go into that, that's fine.
No, I'm good.
But it's and then there was another story that had mentioned a young man with her, and it said his head was twisted.
Were those the same stories, or was that two different occasions?
I don't. You know what? I don't remember.
Because
And
they
that's-
sound different. One was on a car, and the other was a couple.
Yeah.
So I'm
Because
not sure.
and that's where the stories kind of run together, because in this particular story it just mentions the girl. In the other story it mentioned the girl and the guy was by the river and the girl was on top of the car.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the theory with that was that they were out hanging and cheating. Or whatever,
yeah, they
and
were
that
out.
brought
They were
it
out
up.
for a good time.
See, because the lead that we got from Ken Marble got, it was no guy and it was a girl, and then he didn't say anything about disembowelment. It was just like her legs were bent all the way back.
Yeah,
with
so it could
with the primate scene.
Yeah. So
be, it could be two different things.
yeah, it
or
could be
just
two different stories.
It-
I don't know.
yeah.
telephone, like telephone story.
Or
thing.
it's just like one person told another story and they embellished a little bit.
Well,
and
yeah,
changed it.
like the telephone game where you
That's-
you
yeah.
whisper one thing in one ear,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, "Well, I heard this." And
And I have not been able to find any official reports or anything like
Yeah.
police reports. Stories mention that the police came out there. Obviously, the police are going to come out there,
Yeah,
but there's not any actual police reports. I mean, I'm sure if we went down there and
Freedom of
open
act.
Yeah.
we could get them. Not sure if I really want to see the photos.
Yeah.
But to read
so
it,
just get the report.
yeah, just get the reports.
Yeah,
I don't care to see any of the photos, but to get the reports and kind of go into it, because I mean, there's a lot there, and the primate semen is obviously, I mean, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
For
I mean,
Oklahoma,
it is, yeah.
that's not something that you just.
I mean, how
whatever.
do you find out it's primate semen?
That's what. Yeah. What?
Well, you take a sample, and
Right.
I would
guess
assume,
you-
okay, let's say that they're handling it like a normal murder and
Right.
sexual assault. They're going to put it in the data. They're going to run it and try to find and see if this person's in
Yeah.
the database.
Right.
Well, then it comes back with
And
that.
then the description of how again, another story said that this body was in a way that just a regular human being could not put this body.
Yeah.
It was so distorted, both the story with just the woman and the story with the man
guy,
and the guy.
yeah, yeah.
These bodies were in such a way that a man or a woman, a human regular person could not do this to these bodies.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. That intrigued us, and that's what caused us.
Yeah, because that's just, it's wild. And
because I didn't mention it before, but when we got there, we drove around a little bit, and we try to talk to people, and we try to talk to like shops and stuff, and no one would talk to us about it.
Well, yeah, I bet.
So they wouldn't talk to us. They wouldn't tell us where to go, and I go, okay, so
yeah,
we just go out there and just feel it. So
that's like that movie I keep getting you guys to watch. What is it called? Bigfoot County or Country? I can't remember. That's the found footage movie. It's a lot better than I thought it was, but that's
okay.
Like,
all right.
Yeah, you need to watch
I'll break down.
It's good. Let's do that afterwards or whatever.
So we can do a documentary or movie,
a mockumentary
review or something.
Yeah.
So
I liked it. They did their research, but it's kind of like that. It's like, oh, don't go back there.
Yeah.
For several reasons, but oh my god, it went hard at the end.
So yeah, that was an interesting time for me, doing that one. And so I remember my cousin didn't want to do any more Bigfoot stuff after that. So
yeah,
I didn't.
It went hard the first time.
He like retired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like y'all said on y'all's, y'all get all this activity in Hawesville. Mm-hmm. And was that your first? Yeah. So your first time you're getting all this activity, and a lot of people would have run away and been like, "Ah."
No, I was jumping up and down. I didn't want to leave. It was freezing too. It was probably every bit of 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to leave yet, and we need to come back tomorrow. And everyone, oh no, we need to go home, go bed.
I didn't ask you this, Robert. How far into your Bigfoot investigations, hunting, how long had you been doing this up to this point?
I started in 99, and this was probably like 06, 07. So it was right before I moved to Oklahoma.
Okay.
So
you were a good ways into your...
Yeah, I was good. I had already been in the group, and I had left it, and then I was doing independent stuff with Kenny and Buddy Britt and Tim.
How long did you stay in TBRC?
Huh?
How long did you stay in TBRC?
I got in to the end of the year 2000, and I left in 02, 03.
Okay.
So it wasn't very long. We had just done our first Bigfoot conference, and then I left. So because I just didn't like where I was going, and those guys suck.
And fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys. But yeah, I was in for a little bit, and I did a lot of stuff for the TBRC and did a lot of legwork for them, and
then you took all the credit and wired out your name.
I mean, like the big thing with them is this: I had opinions about stuff, and I was passionate about the subject, and I just pushed it, and I wanted like some of my opinions to count, and then a lot of times it didn't. So. And I didn't like because like Luke wasn't around that much, and he was going through some stuff, and Craig was taking over. I didn't like where they were going, and I just, man, screw this. I'm out to do no love.
No love.
So I stepped, and so I started doing like independent stuff, so which I loved. It was great because I had to go wherever I wanted to go
and do what you want to do.
Do what I wanted to do.
Whatever conclusion you want to do,
and when you did that, and you break away. That's when you said you started opening up your mind to this possibly being
different stuff. Yeah, because like when we went to go do stuff with Rob Riggs, I shut down. I said, no way. There's no way Bigfoot and orbs are together. I'm just gonna look for Bigfoot stuff. I don't care what he says.
Well, I'm with Ash. When I hear orbs, I'm like, man, it's a moth, it's a mosquito, it's a bug.
Yeah,
there's so.
Yeah.
So the word orb to me is just like
It's so there's too many X factors that can be. It's like I'm not disavowing that that's not a way that a spirit, which is pure energy, can manifest on something, or that it's not something else. Balls of light happen, and it's usually something tangible. But because there's so many things, for example, I don't know if I showed you, but this person that was on my page. I seen he's always trying to be like, oh, I'm are attracted to me. I always have stuff going on and whatever, you know. You know, but he's one of those people that's really always trying to come up with something for attention. But he posted this picture the other day that had a light behind him. It wasn't there a few seconds ago.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing
I'm
that.
like, that's bullshit. I mean, you know, it's
that,
bullshit.
yeah.
But also, it's just like you can breathe and it looks like a mist, and you don't
Yeah.
see it until it's in the picture. I was going to say on film, but that's not really a thing anymore. But or bugs you don't see, or dust. You know, all sorts of things could be this thing, and because of that, more often than not, I'm going to say it's inconclusive. So I'm sorry, it wasn't. You know, just because you didn't see it with your naked eye doesn't mean it wasn't there.
Yeah, I always equate to Bigfoot prints like casting, orbs, spirit boxes. That's
Frank's box.
It's just a guide. That's it.
Right.
It's to get you where you want to go. It's a starting point. It's to help you out. Maybe it's like a game cam. You know, you put it out to see where the deer's going, and then you get a hit. Okay, this is where the deer's at. So I guess it's a guide. So
I mean, it's
But
that's the way I look at it. I don't know.
Right. I mean, take it or leave it. That's kind of like, you know, a very when I was really into it, when I was with Tyler Rip and stuff like that, there was always, you know, a real, it's like we're pro orb or anti orb and you know, kind of like in Bigfoot community, it's like kill school and not,
right.
You know, is big conflict.
I would have said, bro, it's just an orb.
Yeah, and it's like, and it would suck so hard because we would have, you know, people come up and bring us these pictures and stuff like that, and they want it to be something so bad. They want it to be.
What do you see?
What do you see?
Yeah.
Because, and they give us this really sad story, like, oh, my son died whenever or whatever, and they want it to be that. And those are the hardest things that I think that we had to deal with, was just more often than not, it's like, well, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you right now what this is. But
so we're kind of doing Bigfoot and paranormal.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we're
it's kind of hard not to go hand in hand with those things.
Well, especially when you lead with a story like that.
Yeah, and with this area too, because they do go hand in hand. We can go off on a tangent about aliens because they are allegedly in that area too. You know.
Well, I was gonna say we could do a whole segment on paranormal about this area,
right?
Because it's a. Every story that I've read every one of them have mentioned how just evil this place is. Yeah. How violent this place is.
Right. And you know, like I said, I grew up close, like maybe 5 miles from Oklahoma border in that general area. And that area is kind of that way. Yeah. It's just like high crime, a lot of drug problems, a lot of murders, but it's very rural, so a lot of that stuff gets covered up. Yeah, it goes unsolved. But on the other side, there's a lot of people that believe in those things. There's a lot, and of course, you know, it's Oklahoma. There's a large Native American population, and a lot of people that, not just them, but you know, we all grow up together. We all kind of get the same beliefs and grow up on the same stories and stuff. So a lot of people are heavy into that sort of thing. You hear a lot of stories about that, whether or not they're, you know, something that they actually experienced or just word of mouth, handed down through generations, or something that actually happened is a whole nother thing. Because again, lots of drug use. Yeah,
I was gonna say, think of just the little bit that we know of the past. Native American mounds. Then you go to the mob. Yeah, and now you have casino.
Yeah, you know, I didn't. You know, the thing whenever I went there, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything about the bodies. I didn't know anything about the drugs or the mobs that used it, or Dallas people used it to jump. I didn't know anything about that. Yeah, I just knew the story of '97. I went up there when I got out of the car. Man, it was like negative, and I know I was not the only one. I probably should talk to Kenny and Buddy Britt about this too, and probably talk to my cousin too again. But just kind of get there, because I don't remember saying, "Hey, how do you feel?" I didn't ask that. Yeah, I just know how I felt, and it's just kind of odd.
Well, so. Again, in that moment, I would think you've been on many a Bigfoot hunts, and you're experiencing this for the first time, and And I know that I've been in paranormal instances where you talked about the pressure on your chest. I felt like I was being choked from the inside.
Yeah.
Like not something with their hands around my throat, but
Just short of breath.
but just like something is like I'm choking on something that's in my throat, but it's nothing in my throat.
Yeah.
But that in itself is very, very paranormal. But I just when you that's what I thought of whenever you were talking about this weight on your chest. Like I can't breathe.
Yeah, that's kind of not necessarily discounting that it might be something else, but I kind of get that way when I get really bad anxiety too.
Yeah.
And it could just be something else that's triggering.
Well, yeah,
it too.
absolutely.
But I mean, that's kind of how it feels. It's like your body is just like tensing up towards the center, and it's not wanting to work right. More or less, it's just like it's kind of like you're in a trash compactor, and it's just pushing in on the sides, and it's just you're just getting like really tensed up and stuff, and
I mean, I can't explain how it's. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like you're sprinting like really hard, and then you stop, and someone's asking you questions, and you stop, and you're like, okay, hold on, let me, let me.
And it's like you're choking on your.
Yeah, it was like that's the way I felt. I said, oh my god, and I was like,
but you hadn't been sprinting, you hadn't been running, you hadn't
done any of that.
You were just chilling in a car,
Yeah.
a few minutes before this.
And so I just think it's just kind of odd because like after we left, then I started looking up stuff, and man, it's just kind of.
And it's you mentioned after you left. I want to get in that too. Now, when you left, did this feeling go away?
It did.
It just kind of when you were there, it was there, and when you left, it was gone.
Yeah, it was like I was with Luke.
You were safe again, right?
Nice home.
So, and I know we talked all. I was gonna say all people with asthma probably understand, but I don't know. There's different forms of asthma. But 3 of my kids have asthma, and I don't want to throw all people with asthma in here. I don't want to do that. But I don't know. I've never had asthma. I don't know how it is. But I know 3 of the 4 of my kids have asthma, and I know whenever they started going into, they're kind of grown out of it now. They have it every once in a while, but I know when they started going into their episodes or if their asthma started taking over, it was just like you were saying, like they had just run like 5 miles and they're trying to catch their breath, and you could almost feel it with them as their dad, and they're going through it. And when they were younger, I would hold them and they would take their medicine and they would do their breathing treatments and all that stuff. But it was almost like you could feel it with them, and you could hear that kind of, just like their chest is caving in on them. They can't breathe. And
Right.
So that's a very valid point that you bring up, Ash. Is there are perfectly good explanations of why people feel this way,
But that could be triggered by that.
Exactly, and that's where I was going.
I'm looking at it's just Paranormal Stories blogspot. It's a lot of anonymous comments of people that are in this area or frequent this area, and almost every single story says the same thing. Is that they have we're down here camping or we're riding motorcycles or just whatever around here and just get that bad feeling.
Yeah. That's because I told you I've read several stories about this area off mic before we started our conversation, our podcast on it. I was just looking at just multiple stories, and every single one of them talk about how evil this place is, how it's just unlike anything they've ever been, and I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So
I do because I'm crazy.
I'm crazy, but I'm just not that crazy.
I don't know. I might get there because
Daytime.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll
definitely start in the daytime. I'm not going to go anywhere in the middle of the night that I've never been before.
If we do decide, because hey, I'm down for doing it on the podcast. But if we do decide, I guarantee you, I'm not going at night. I'm going in the day. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that.
Guarantee money.
Okay.
See money.
I'm reading this one story. It's just a little whatever, and it's kind of an intro in that blog. It says, some visitors to Brown Spring have pulled particular gravesite. Trees bleed. There has been sightings of a little girl standing next to a headstone marked Butch. Trees bleed. I want to
Wow.
know.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. You know, it's just to me, it goes, it's like, okay, what can that be that I know that would explain that?
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure.
I'm trying to debunk it right now,
Right
thinking
now, it's
what
like,
sap? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, come on. If you see sap coming out of a tree, you're not going to say it's
doesn't look
bleeding.
like blood.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like blood at all. I mean, I've seen sap coming out of a tree. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like. Now again, okay, let's think about this feeling that we have here. Your mind can play tricks on you and make you see things
Yeah.
that are not there.
Especially when you're scared.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I have post-traumatic stress disorder,
Mm-hmm.
and I do that constantly. I will see something out of the corner of my eye, and I always think it's somebody.
Yeah.
And when it's messed up, it's always like a black figure or something like that. You know, in my last job that I had, you know, I do security, and it was in this dilapidated hotel warehouse, and constantly I would do that. You know, and what's funny is like there's decorating for Halloween in the building that I work at now. They had like just this black figure. It was balloons, I think, under a cloth. But that's what I see is what people say shadow people.
Yeah.
But it's usually something else. But that's what my brain, I can't remember what that's called, where your brain just makes you see what you already know. And that's and sometimes it's kind of, I think I've seen theories that says that it comes from when we're like babies, that we look for faces to instinctively find our parents. And that's kind of why people see aliens and things like that when they're in like a dreamlike state, is because your brain looks for the big head, big eyes. That's something that we look for, we're attracted to for survival, but because we don't realize that anymore, it's something scary and we don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think a lot of the stuff we see, I'm big into the subconscious, and a lot of the stuff that we see comes from that when our subconscious and our conscious are battling when we're asleep or when we're going to sleep and all that. I'm a big believer in that. Man, so much of the stuff that we see walking around comes from that, is our subconscious, you know, because I think that's what deja vu is. I think deja vu is that, you know,
Multiverse?
yeah, it's the Matrix, you know, it's a glitch in the Matrix. But
or, you know, it could be genetic memory too.
yeah, and then exactly, genetic memory. There's you know, just so many different kind of ideas when it comes to the subconscious, genetic memory, stuff that we remember, you know, as a child. You know, some people can remember all the way back to when they're like 2 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and it's very uncommon for people to do that. But I know if you're 2 years old and you're remembering something and you're going through something at 2 years old and you're 30 years old and you're remembering this, it's going to be different. I mean, there's going to be changes, and there's going to be things that you, like you said, that are foreign to that you know, but they're foreign to you because you're looking at it as a 2-year-old, and now you're looking at it as a 30-year-old.
And your mind tries to make sense of it, and so
Yeah.
it becomes what you're familiar with or something that you already know about, or even like from outside sources, you might have experienced it, but someone else is telling you the story, and because you don't really remember it, your brain fills in the blanks with what someone else told you about an experience that you had, and that's not necessarily what you perceived.
Projection?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're like a minute and I keep saying
You keep saying a minute.
Wow, this is a long time to stop.
I'm telling you, our minutes
Kenny Ortega.
are long. Kenny Ortega's out there,
We're
okay?
inside a TARDIS.
1 hour 13 minutes. I know we kind of been talking about Bigfoot and paranormal.
Yeah, we kind of...
So you guys wanna just do paranormal now?
Whatever.
I mean, we kind of just threw them together tonight.
Yeah, we kind of threw them
Just
together.
let
but-
it flow organically, I think.
Because the reason why is because you
Okay,
you
we don't have to do paranormal. We can just keep going.
just play the music.
okay.
You just want to play the music. Do it whenever. The intro to that thing we've already been doing.
The paranormal. Sorry. Oh, Lord.
The paranormal.
Hey, do we have any fun facts about paranormal?
Yeah, I do have a fun fact about paranormal.
Yes.
So November 7th in 2017, this comes from, it's anomalyinfo.com. I don't know how credible this source is. I just found it. I thought it was a cool story.
Sweet.
And it happened on November 7th. We never said this, but a special Thursday edition of the Bigfoot Club.
Yeah.
We usually run it on a Sunday, but
I didn't
we have a
say
special Thursday edition of the Bigfoot Club.
I didn't do that. Sorry.
That's okay.
Surprise.
I just did it. So, but anyway, this happened in Nong Khong Side District of Thailand, November 7th, 2017. What are you doing over there?
Also breaking things.
We got
Not
a
just me.
Bigfoot. We got a Bigfoot sighting.
Whoop, whoop.
Now he's running down the hallway. So
He's potty trained though. That's good. House broke.
his house broke.
That's the most. Our buddy Billy used to say. The reason why Bigfoot's so mean is because he ain't got no toilet paper, and that's why he stinks too. He's got them.
He's got no toilet paper. He just needs to be house broke. That's all.
He's got, and that's why he smells bad because
He can't
wipe.
get it. Have you ever seen the dogs where they like drag their butts on the
Yes.
ground? Yeah, that's how they, I guess, clean up. My dog does that. My big dog does
I
that.
think, yeah.
I'm like, man, quit. That's gross.
It is. I don't know.
I'm glad we don't have carpet at the house, because if we had carpet, that'd be even more gross. But I don't know how we get. Oh yeah, because we're party training our Bigfoot over here.
He got no toilet paper, but he's got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
He got all them teeth. No, Connor Sanders, you're wrong. We kind of went off on dogs rubbing their butt on the ground. So, yeah. Just get in here, okay?
I leave for like 20 seconds.
Well, we said
We
we're
had to find some filler, and he went, he went right back to poop.
we. What is it with me and poop, man?
I don't know.
I don't know. Lazy poop cowards.
So you were talking about the story? I mean,
Yeah, so Nong Khong Sai District of Thailand. It was announced that a number of public health officials, including a doctor and a psychologist, had been dispatched to a group of villages in the Nong Khong Sai District of Thailand to try to clear up rumors that a ghost had killed 4 men by eating their internal organs.
Oregon.
They ate their internals.
What about Washington?
Yeah, they ate Washington and man, what the crap,
Those are full of Bigfoot too.
man.
Sorry.
Organs.
Organs.
Their internal
Their guts and stuff.
organs. Yes. Information on the matter was not very clear, but the deaths of the 4 men had either been close enough together or unusual enough to worry locals of a possible supernatural cause. This news organization called The Nation reported that locals suspected a Porb ghost, and that and that these were usually female spirits that slowly ate a chosen victim's internal organs until
Their organ trails.
yes, until the victim died. So they're Porb ghosts. Porb ghosts are entities that enter individuals, and they don't eat the individual that they enter, but they cause the individual to kind of, I guess kind of like a zombie state.
I was going to say zombies.
Yeah, kind of like zombies.
This sounds like a story from Supernatural.
It's in your head, though.
Yeah. In your head. In your head. So,
That's a little late there.
little late.
I had to find it.
Better late than never. So, anyway, Porb ghosts are believed to be, or Porb entities, Porb spirits, whatever you want to call them, are believed to be entities that enter one human. And in Thailand, they believe it to be they enter mainly females and then eat males. They also say down here that it's usually women women and young children.
Wow.
Because children, I mean, we've talked about that several times on here, that children are more open to paranormal. But they call them, where is it? Just saw it. Phiporbs or Phiporbs. Phiiiporb.
It's almost like what we were talking off show about. It was like succubus,
like a succubus or an incubus,
right?
You know, but like with the succubus, it's that's more of a sexual. The succubus is the female. The
incubus is the male.
The incubus is the male, and it's more of a.
Shout out! I need some tickets.
That's more of like a sexual.
That's a warning, right? Sorry.
Man, you're good at that. Just really good at being late on that.
Timing is everything, and yay.
So, we started talking about kind of getting on the topic of the incubus and the succubus because of the porb ghost. But this porb actually turns the person into zombies and makes them eat. Kind of turns them into cannibals. So,
Yeah.
just kind of want to get your thoughts on that.
You know, I think that if that story was here in the U.S., I don't think it would probably be like reported that way.
No, because I mean, in that part of the world, they tend to be a little bit more superstitious.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of unfortunate too that it seems to me that maybe that is a story that kind of originates, because there's a lot of stories like that have kind of villainized women and made them into like malevolent creatures.
Right. Like they're susceptible to that, and they can
Right,
they take
because
it more than a male.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's what they
Yeah, it's just
project that.
Yes, that then there's something wrong with her because she doesn't lock step. She must be evil.
Or a witch.
Yep. So we need to shut this down and take care of this, and there's something wrong.
I just think it's kind of odd because, like I was saying, if it was happened here, I don't think it would be like reported that way.
It would be reported drugs.
Yeah, drugs or
mental health.
or just someone died and that was it.
Right.
So
Yeah, and they wouldn't call all these psychologists and health officials and doctors and all that. They wouldn't call all them to the scene of dead bodies. Of course, they're going to call the police, and then the police are going to take it and do their thing to it. But I mean, they according to the story, they sent like
a whole
whole crew down here to.
I'll say
But
this.
just before I forget, they did this with the pre-notion of this being a porb attack.
Yeah.
They didn't go down there thinking that these people just ate these people. They went down there under the understanding that it was a porb ghost attack.
When you read it, that's how you interpret it.
That's what they say. Yeah, because it says to try to clear up rumors that a ghost had killed 4 men by eating their internal organs.
Right.
So they're going up there.
That's probably what the people already were saying.
Yeah,
and
they're saying
this is
that.
what happens whenever they discovered that.
But here, they're not going to go down there to try to clear up those rumors. They're just going to go down there and say, "Hey, this is drugs. This is
Right.
alcohol." And because I don't know if y'all remember, like a couple years back, they were doing the bath salts,
Right.
and they call it the zombie drug.
Right. And it wasn't even that at all. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was just. But they looked like zombies.
Right.
So
I have to say that I admire them just for doing the story like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of their honesty and stuff like that. You wouldn't get that here.
No. You would just disregard it all. I mean, because people still, I come from backwoods small town, and people do tend to kind of sometimes lean on things like that a little too hard when they're not very worldly and they're in their own,
I have to admit that there's been times where I would get the newspaper and I'd go to the Metro section and I would just flip through the Metro and see, because the Metro will just talk about, happenings or deaths locally, and I would just read them and try to see if I could find something that just didn't sound right.
Very rarely, unless it's October, do you get anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, more often you would get maybe something UFO or anything, but nobody ever really reports on things like that on that level anymore.
You kind of have to read between the lines whenever you
Right.
read those and stuff and say, that's odd. You know, like they'll say like someone was killed in their bed and they were asleep and they were, you know, were seen later on that, you know, that day. Okay. And you know, just the way they were killed. And sometimes you just have to look at it and find it and say, okay, that sounds kind of odd. And
They shot
You know what that
themselves in
reminds
the
me
head
of?
3 times.
what?
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Supernatural.
Supernatural, yeah.
Shout out. It always comes back to
Jared-
the boys.
Jared Padalecki.
We love you. Stop doing bad things. We don't condone your behavior, but we support you
And
as a
we
person
still love you.
because we all screw up.
Stop
Especially when
beating
we're-
people up.
It was just that one guy.
Stop getting them in headlocks.
And if you do, don't get it on video.
Oh well. I doubt that he can go out in public and not be on video. Honestly, I feel bad because I mean speaking of Bigfoots, he's not exactly a small guy. It's like if you know him, you'll notice him in a crowd.
Moose. Yeah.
You know,
Moosh.
I did want to do a shout out to my moderator for Penn, Texas. She's awesome.
Yeah.
I love her.
I have to say this. I don't know her. I only spent a few moments on a phone call with her.
Yeah.
But her passion for what she does is just outstanding.
Man,
and how quick she just jumped on and kind of took control and so calm and cool and just man, it was very impressive.
We were, and I'm not going to talk about the details. It's just that we had a case yesterday, and she called me, and she was concerned about this person, and her the level of her caring about it, and the detail that she put into it, and the compassion she had was is unmatched. And I mean, I'm lucky to have her, and I'll just say it's Tanya Moret, and so she's my moderator for Penn, Texas, and I don't know how I just approached her and I was messaging her and I just asked her, I said, hey, are you interested in doing the moderation for me? Because I have a podcast coming up and I need help with this page. And she jumped right on it, and she moderates a lot of stuff for me, and you know, she looks for cases, and she looks for, you know, people that need help, but just not out saying I need help. She looks at their posts and she says, hey, we should maybe pay attention to this person. Because I think they're crying for help. Yeah. And I just want to do a shout out for her because she's great.
I feel like the people that aren't that way in the field are, to put it mildly, kind of self-serving assholes.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, to me, that seems like one of the front-running things that you would want to do is to help people. Mm-hmm. Because either to, and you know, I feel like we touched on this before, either to figure it out and give them peace of mind. Yeah. Or to give them assistance and point them in the right direction to make it better. Yeah.
Yeah, and in this case, again, without going into a lot of details, in this case, it was, man, there was a lot of obstacles and a lot of just kind of
contributing factors.
Yeah, variables that went into this, and she was so just in tune with man, just everything going on, and her number one just focus was getting this person help. Right. Whether it be from us or somebody else, just getting this individual help. And there was no shadow of a doubt that she was going to do whatever she had to do.
I mean, because when she reached out to me, I kind of, you know, I said, okay, she needs help or she needs, you know, assistance or advice. So I offered to take it off her hands. I said, hey, do you need me? Do you need me? You need me to take care of this?
Nope.
I got this. I got it. I got this. I go, do you need my support? Do you need me? Are you going to do a conference call? Or if you do an email, copy me on it. Mm-hmm. And she goes, nope, Robert, I got it. So,
I got it.
So she's, God,
Yeah,
You know?
she's and again, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was on a phone call with her. Just that 15 minutes, in the way she handled it, in the way she was open to what you were suggesting,
Right.
in the way that she just, there was just a few moments in there. She was like, "No, I feel this way," and then you were like, "Okay, if you feel this way, good." It's
I have to admit, I was kind of proud.
you should be.
So I was kind of proud. I said, God, man, I sure picked a good one on this one.
Yeah.
She's good peeps.
So
I feel that
don't.
way. I've always said that I feel very fortunate with the people that I have, come in contact with to kind of did my mentoring. Calm down. But like when I was 12 years old and first got the internet in like 1999, 2000, who were the first people that I came in contact? Fucking Jason and Grant.
Yeah.
And from them, I didn't really have too much because obviously they're running stuff and whatever. But from them I got to know. Hello, Keith and Carl Johnson. And
What the heck was that?
I don't know. Someone's phone.
It wasn't mine. I turned mine off.
Yeah, wasn't mine.
Not it. Oh, you know what that means? 2 out of 3. Oops. But and then from there, I met you and Luke, and I lucked out because there are a lot of phonies out there that teach a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And maybe it was that I have a brain in my head. And, I did a lot of independent research beforehand. I'm a freaking knowledge junkie. It doesn't matter if there's something I'm passionate about. I got to find every single thing about it I can. But I really lucked out. That's how I met my best friend, was through taps. Mm-hmm. Eventually is how I met Michelle. It was from message boards, and just so happened we found out I lived in Longview, she lived in Tyler. We met in the middle, and here I am, basically.
Yeah, and I got to meet you, and
and on from that.
Yep.
And now you're doing a podcast together.
Finally.
But yeah, anybody that has that kind of compassion is cool in my book.
She's good, man. She's really good, and I love her, and I don't tell her enough that I appreciate her. So I really do, and I really want her to meet you guys. I want her to meet Kendall. And so
yeah, because I don't know any of your Bigfoot buddies or your paranormal buddies or anything. I just met Ash, and it's because we're doing the podcast. That's the only one I know.
Yeah.
So
We're still kind of talking about having like a little thing.
yeah. A meet and greet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found some places that had some good prices, but they are not available until March.
Yeah,
so I gotta find another.
Well, we can always have something casual and not invite people we don't know, but just have where we can have like a dinner or something.
Well, I think the whole. We could do a dinner at Povo Melvin's.
Yeah,
they have a big
if we worked at a certain place. We have...
I just got to see if it's okay to do it on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Because I think we can do it there.
I think.
Because we have a big meeting thing at work. And
well, I have one of those at my work, too. They were just doing a movie auditions for some sort of horror movie, and I didn't know what they were doing.
What?
Yeah, like one of the guys that works there, because we have several IT companies. I guess he's a freelance director, movie maker, and... yeah, they were having auditions. I didn't know what they're doing. I just knew I had to unlock the door and get it ready and whatever for them. And there's people started showing up, and they're running lines in the hallway. And I was like, what's going on? Because I just hear, arguing.
Yeah, that sounds like Bigfoot talk.
Yeah. Well, that's what it sounded like. Down the hall. It's just obviously these people were like whisper fighting.
Yeah.
Because girls out in the hallway running lines for this horror movie. And I was like, well, that is freaking cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that anybody could just rent out this area.
I think Bigfoot auditioning for her movie is awesome.
yeah.
So, but yeah, that's really cool. I wish I'd have known, man. I'd have been there.
Yeah, I think...
I want to audition for a horror movie.
Me too.
It was a lot of teenage girls, so I think it was one of those type
like
of
a
movies,
teeny
like
bopper, like
slash and hack type
so
of thing.
Justin Timberlake wouldn't have been there.
He might do the soundtrack.
Dang it.
Maybe his wife would be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's up to. God damn it, Robert.
You are. You got to get better on your timing, man.
I know.
We're like a bit and a half past, and you're. Here it comes.
That's my thing. Like,
Hang on. That's why.
Hey, can you go back and say that again?
That's like It was before I was going out with her, but when Michelle was with her last team before that, I think SWAT. They're defunct now, I think, but they did a lot of things for the local news circuit, and they're like, well, let's go out on investigations, but that's what they wanted. Okay, wait, back up and say that again. It's like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And that, she's like, after that, she's like, I'm done with TV. I'm not ever going to investigate on TV again.
Can you turn your head when you say that?
Can you say that again? Can you react to that again? Didn't quite get it. It's like, no, absolutely not. Of course, it is just a local news station. I think it was like Channel 9 out of Tyler or something, but yeah.
John Tyler.
No.
They used to have a really good football team. I don't know if they do now. But
Yeah. Tyler Lee or John Tyler?
I don't know, man. Ask my brother. He knows everything about high school football.
Too sweet.
What?
I think he should go into like being a sports commentator for high school football. I'm serious. He knows
That's
freaking.
a very niche market.
Yeah, but he knows everything about it. Like he can tell you like stats and I'm like, man, dude, you should do this for a living.
So we got like 35 minutes to talk about wrestling.
I'm semi-prepared. I was watching stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
At work last night, because I work from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. What else am I going to do besides walk around and watch stuff?
So you guys want to switch subjects?
man, we do what you do.
This is your show, remember? Remember, we've come to that.
I know,
agreement.
but I like to ask opinions about stuff.
Well, I like to
It's
ask
like
your
whatever.
opinion.
It seems like we've plateaued out of this other. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like to ask your opinion, but it's time to go to wrestling now.
if your opinion is the same as mine, then that's good. But otherwise, just deal with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to wrestling now.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
You're lucky I love you.
Thanks. Wrestling.
Wrestling. I used to have that argument with my dad. It's like, okay, wrestling is like what they do in school. Wrestling is this stuff on TV.
I love it. I absolutely love that.
We didn't get to talk about AEW last week.
Oh, good. That's the thing that I read about
Okay, good deal.
and watched videos about on the tweeter.
This week on AEW.
Fun fact.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Don't.
Reverse.
Wait. Do you need to push a button?
Hold on.
Is there a button?
What? 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 Sorry.
So, this day in wrestling history, November 7th.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Macho Man Randy Savage leaves the WWF
And goes to the WCNW.
Wow. Today?
today.
Wow.
Yeah, like this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Too sweet.
So he leaves WWE, and it was kind of weird how it happened because it happened like halfway through the show.
Really?
Like, yeah, it was like halfway through the show. Vince McMahon comes on and he's like almost tearing up, saying that that Randy Savage is leaving WWF, and he's not gonna be there anymore.
There must have been like in neighboring cities.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, just a month later, he signs with WCW.
Oh, okay.
But what's surprising to me, and man, I didn't even realize this, that it says he only wrestled a total of 15 matches for the WWF. Only 15.
WCW or WWF?
WWF.
Wow.
Only 15.
Ever?
That's what it says.
That's crazy.
It says most of his
But I guess I can see that because even like, I was kind of more of a WCW person, but it just seemed like he did rock the mic more than he actually
that's what caused him to leave, because he wanted to be a bigger in-ring attraction. He didn't just want to be a mouth.
And then he was older at the time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
This was like what all the stuff that he was doing. That like pre-Raw, right? Was that pre-Raw?
It was just 1993 when he left.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
I
that
was
was around.
sorry I was chewing on my thumb.
Yeah, that was about.
I,
whenever,
man,
like,
tell you the
it all
truth,
kinda
I don't
took
know
off.
when Raw came. I don't know when. Well, let me see if it says.
It was like the mid to late 90s, I think.
But I don't know. It doesn't say on here. But I was just really surprised that, I mean, a total of 15 matches is big. As big as a persona he is in WWF, WWE, to only do 15 matches. But I mean, like I said, it's. I always like to say, what's your favorite Macho Man moment?
I would say when he was on Spider-Man.
When he was on Spider-Man.
Bonesaw!
He was Bonesaw.
Yeah.
And he would. I'm doing my finger like 3.
Yeah.
'Cause you got 3 minutes.
I think mine.
Him and it was him and my real dad. No. Bruce Campbell in that scene because he was.
Oh, that's right.
Because it was a Sam Raimi movie, and you can't have Sam Raimi without Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And he said he was the one the only one that ever defeated Spider-Man in all 3 movies was Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
But oh god, that was say what you will. I get that those are, if you watch those movies from that perspective, from it's a Sam Raimi movie instead of it's a Spider-Man movie, the camp and everything totally makes sense and works too.
I like it.
Yeah.
Me too.
I like it. I don't really have one. I loved him on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the
Oh yeah.
just the best.
Something, brother.
Just the best on the
Yeah.
mic, and anytime I loved his Slim Jim commercials.
Yeah.
I loved them. I
Yeah.
just he was always, man, he gave just 200%.
Yeah.
Whenever he was on the mic, he wanted you to be entertained, and he was there to entertain. So I really don't have a single moment. I just loved every time if he was talking, I was listening.
I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking, it's like I can't really think of any time that he like a match too much, but when storylines and stuff like that.
But he was involved in everything.
Yeah.
But to only have 15 matches, that's just it blew my mind when I read that.
It's I can't remember what was the name of his wife.
Oh, man,
But didn't
I'll look it up.
didn't Hogan have like relations with her?
Oh my
And I
God,
think
that
and I think they used that as a real storyline once. And I go, man, that's
Elizabeth.
Yes, Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, so
Miss
I
Elizabeth.
think Hogan, because I think Ultimate Warrior had this thing with Hogan for the longest time,
Yeah.
and he didn't like that. Actually, that he had relations with Elizabeth.
I think Ultimate Warrior really was like pissed off.
Yeah, because like he's like super, super loyal to his wife, and so I guess he thought Hogan should have done that too. So I don't know. That's just.
They always seem to kind of have a rivalry. I remember that
Yeah.
being a big thing when the Warrior came over to WCW, was him versus Hulk Hogan and stuff,
Yeah.
because he was black and white NWO at the time, and like, we're going to drive him insane, and like they played up the Warrior's mysticism and stuff like that, like having him appear in mirrors and things like that,
Yeah. That was the only fun fact. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was something big. I mean, that's obviously big.
It is.
Him leaving W. It really surprised me. Only 15 matches, because he was all over WWF, and
Maybe he was hurt a lot. And he was just.
it says that the reason why he left is because they just wanted him on the mic. They didn't want him in ring, and I don't know why, because he was a stud in the ring, man.
Yeah, because wasn't he a commentator too?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
He did- he
left
wanted-
them to go to WCW.
Because WCW put him in the ring.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
and you know what's funny is he was kind of like a babyface heel, like his whole career. If that makes any sense, until
Yeah.
he went to WCW, and then obviously he turned straight heel.
Yeah.
But while he was in WWF, I mean, he was a babyface but he was kind of a babyface heel. He
Kind of like an anti-hero. It's like,
Yeah.
he could go either way.
Yeah.
I kind of like that too. It's like,
But I can't think of anybody else that's ever kind of been like that.
The only thing I didn't like about him was his tassels. Is that
no,
Is that wrong?
really?
Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
That is wrong.
Go back to the bathroom.
You're canceled. Are you kidding me? The fringe is
Man,
where it's at, man.
we just-
and the sunglasses, like take away his fringe,
I like the
bandana, and
sunglasses.
sunglasses.
Are you
That's
gonna Are you gonna jump on Warrior for his tassels?
No, because he was a warrior. We might jump onto him for like
he was the Dingo Warrior when he was here
Aw.
locally. So
Yeah.
I liked him then. So I don't know.
I did like him too.
Can't believe. Man, you need to go back to the bathroom.
I like turtles.
I like turtles too.
He was a baseball player for the Cardinals.
Was he really?
Yeah, I'm looking at his Wikipedia.
That
It
I did
says,
not know.
I did not
Savage
know
was
that.
signed by the St. Louis Cardinals organization as a catcher out of high school.
Wow.
I did not
He
know
was
that.
in the minor leagues and mostly played as an outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds,
That's
Chicago
crazy.
White Sox farm system.
Wow.
Super crazy.
And there's a thing you know.
Uh,
His last season
Ash
was
just
in
one up me on the fun facts. there.
1974 when he paid for the tampon or
Tampons.
the tampon.
I gotta hit a button. I can't do it. Dang it!
Man.
You guys are quick, man. You guys are like serpents.
Man, he played for the tampons.
tampons.
What league was that?
The absorbent one.
The absorbent league.
Sorry. Hi.
That's why he quit baseball. Though. It's like I signed to the Cardinals, but they put me over here on the tampons.
Oh man.
From the Cardinals to the Reds to the tampon.
Hey, it's all red. It's all red. Cardinals are red.
No, he's probably saying
Cincinnati Reds.
He's saying I'm bleeding over here. Sorry.
That's why he went to wrestling.
We're horrible.
Yeah.
We're wretched.
Ratchet.
Okay. Let's get on AEW because we didn't talk about that last.
I want to say this. I'm so close to being done with WWE.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. There's nothing that intrigues me over there.
You always say that.
I know.
You always go back.
But I always go back. So,
It's like
I
an
just-
abusive relationship,
man,
trauma bound.
I don't know. I'll probably stay there, but I will tell you this: I do not have the WWE Network anymore.
Yeah, I already knew that. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
because that was when I told you that I was stepping away.
Yeah.
So I stepped away from the WWE Network, but I still watch them.
Can we step into AEW?
Okay, we can do that. I just wanted to put that out there. All right,
The AEW.
but I'm about to take that button.
Okay.
Then I'm right back to the bathroom.
AEW. Did you guys happen to watch?
I did. I watched it last night.
Did
I
you
just watched the thing with the thing.
She watched the thing of the thing last night at work.
Did y'all watch the promo that Cody did?
I did.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
Oh, you watched
That's the thing.
That's
with
the thing of the thing.
That's the thing that I watched
Okay,
I really liked it.
I did too.
I liked
because
it
it
a
was
lot.
unscripted.
Yeah.
That's. I mean,
He was kind of making fun because they're setting up for Full Gear. Cody's going after the AEW World Championship
Jericho's-
with
yeah.
Jericho, and so Jericho in the past has been telling them that he's spoon fed and silver spoon, and
Yeah.
he's been given this right to be the AEW president, all this stuff. And so Cody kind of went back to saying, "Hey, it must have been nice to being have your dad as a hockey player, and,
Yeah.
and
Ain't that the same silver spoon?
Yeah.
Weren't you spoon fed too?
yeah.
so
I think that's who we said. Didn't we eat off the same silver spoon?
yeah." So
And I liked how he brought the legends back. He mentioned the legends of the sport,
yeah,
and I really like that he stays true to that. That he recognizes the legends, and he wants it to be known that he is trying to bring that back. He's trying to bring
Yeah.
wrestling back to that.
Right.
It was. I really like that he has DDP on a lot. too.
Yeah.
And talk to him and have him as a mentor because
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
You know.
Man, he's looking bad though.
Well, you get old.
I
Yeah,
know.
I mean he's
That's what happens.
I think
Yeah.
he's looking as good as he can look, but man,
Yeah.
that's not what.
I mean, as far as I know, he's pretty healthy. Last interview I really saw was when he was on Joe Rogan, but you know, with his DDPY and stuff, you know.
But I guess we get used to again going back to
Yeah.
seeing them how they were. And
Yeah,
you're like,
and then, well, I feel that way every time I see Bret Hart like on commercials.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
man.
God damn, I'm like, I know it, but every time, but then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 33, and when I started watching them, I was 5.
Yeah.
You know, and they were probably 33. You know, it makes sense.
The Rock tweeted right after that promo. This is what he tweeted. He says, "Rhythm, cadence, tone, intent, passion, execution. Great promo, brother. You drop the MF." That's what The Rock put. And you know he's still on WWE.
I was gonna say he's still
What a thing that would be.
yeah.
that would be a power move right there, man.
You know, because he's kind of running with UFC and stuff now too. They would.
But that's kind of the Rock style though. He don't
Yeah.
care. Rock can do
Well, I
whatever he
mean,
wants.
Exactly. It's like he makes 1 billion movies a year. He's always out there hustling. He ain't worried about shit because he's always going to be hireable and marketable.
And here's the thing. It doesn't matter what he does. He's going into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Period. So
Yeah.
and if they don't put him in the Hall of Fame,
That would be ridiculous. That'd be like not putting Hulk Hogan in.
exactly. So, but yeah, that's awesome to get that praise from The Rock.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the best ever heel ever in the history of wrestling is The Rock. And just a cool dude. So to get that praise from The Rock and
It's awesome.
is awesome. And to be unscripted and just to go, man, another reason why I love Cody Rhodes. I love him just as a wrestler, as a promoter, as the owner of AEW.
Yeah.
He's just doing it right now.
And AEW for the 6th week in a row.
Took out NXT.
NXT, but it's gotten closer.
Uh-oh.
Dynamite on TNT drew like 822,000 viewers. NXT did 813,000.
So they
had to do it. They had to be on Raw and Smackdown, I think, to do it this week just to get that close.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. So,
Well, that sounds. I mean, that could be a really smart thing, especially after because they brought him out last. When
Yeah.
all those people were marked.
Well,
if they
we-
were thinking,
we talked about McMahon is going to do what he's got to do to.
McMahon need to watch his mouth when it comes to foreign dignitaries, though.
the one thing I wanted to say about whenever they got stuck over there on their way back, I think they were traveling to London and then they're traveling back to the U.S. Randy Orton did an Instagram challenging John Cena to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
That's probably the best thing of the whole deal.
I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I would too because
I'll watch that hands down.
Orton is bae. I mean, I don't give a shit. I would always be on his team over John Cena.
I'm a big Randy Orton fan.
I enjoy him.
I am too. I think they don't use him enough.
I agree too, for other reasons. But
I didn't watch.
Did you know that he's a former Marine?
Yeah. He got
Yeah,
discharged, right?
yeah. He got into trouble, but still, once a Marine, always a Marine. Hoorah!
I didn't get a chance to watch Pac versus Trent Barreto.
Yeah,
Was that any good?
it was a good match. There was a couple of things that was just like, here's my thing, and this is, I don't know why wrestling has gone to this. If you have a finishing move, use it to finish the match.
Yeah.
Don't use it 3 times and then it's still not finished the match.
Yeah, that's that one thing I would say about AEW that I don't like is that
They throw the finishing move, they throw the finishing move, they throw the finishing move. And I get that the finishing moves are great moves, but there's a reason why it's a finishing move.
yeah.
And we all know when the finishing move gets put on them, that's what we want to see. We want to see 1, 2, 3. Yay!
for example, that Bill Goldberg match that they had when he kept coming back out,
Yeah.
and kept coming back out, and it's like, okay, we get it. You can knock this guy around. It
Yeah.
seemed like they were just filling for time.
That you know what that incident, I don't even know where they're relating to because none of them
Right.
came back. None of them did a story.
It just, to me, watching it, it seemed like something was going on behind the scenes, and they kept telling us, like, keep stretching. We need to fill some
Yeah,
time.
just keep.
doing
the,
it.
the only thing I can think of is that probably something was going on and they
Yeah.
had to extend it.
That's literally
But
what I just said.
there was a moment in that match where Pac hits the Black Arrow and or Pac. I always call him Pac because I think Tupac, but his name's Pac. Sorry, that's my stitch. Getting everybody's name wrong. Pac hit the Black Arrow off the top rope. Pins Trent. Referee goes 1, 2. Trent doesn't kick out, and the referee stops.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
He must have forgotten.
I guess he forgot that Pac was supposed to submit him, and he was supposed to tap. Well, he actually went to sleep because that's what happened. But I guess he forgot, and I was like, okay. But in that moment, if I'm the referee and he doesn't, go ahead and finish it.
Yeah.
Don't do that because it's better to go ahead and finish it than to have somebody say 2. You're being like the referees in football right now, blowing all these stupid calls. Mm-hmm. Just finish the match. 1, 2, 3, have it over with. I thought that would have been better than to just 2. He kicked out at 2.
Yeah.
But growing pains, I guess you can chalk it up to growing pains.
I will say, I forgot to mention this on Cody Rhodes and Jericho's championship match that's going to come up this weekend on Saturday. Cody Rhodes did say that if he's unable to beat Chris Jericho, that he will never go after the AEW World Title again.
I can say this. To me, that just solidifies that he's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on. Even but if he didn't, never is a long time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Or
that's like next year.
yeah.
I will
That's what it
never
means.
step foot in this. 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa, this happened,
Surprise!
and guess what?
I'm back.
There was a something, and now I'm gonna kick your butt.
suddenly, theme music.
Yeah.
What?
He's coming back.
Oh my God! He just said yesterday he wasn't.
So how he said he'd never challenge for it again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He won't challenge for the title
Okay.
ever again.
That
Tells you he's going to win.
yeah. That to me just says he's gonna win. Or it might be he loses and he doesn't challenge it, but somebody else challenges him for it.
Or this builds up to it. And
Or he just says, it's mine. I don't have to challenge for it. I own the company.
that would be so shitty. But I mean, he could do that. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's his and the Young Bucks.
Yep.
I mean,
And I don't see the Young Bucks saying no.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. There was it was Raiho and
It was Raiho and Shanna
and Shanna. I can never remember her name. Raiho and Shanna against
Jamie Hayter and Emma Sakuraka.
Sakuraka.
Yeah.
I guess that's how you say it. That was a good match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that match
I was
a lot.
I'm a Jamie Hayter
Yeah.
fan now.
She was.
That girl, man. I'm not talking about her wrestling.
I know well,
it's
She's
your edge.
but I'm talking
Yeah.
about the wrestling.
she's
I'll-
easy on the eyes.
I'm talking about the wrestling.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Well, I mean, you know,
Oh, sorry. I just fell asleep there for a second.
It's okay.
Sorry. So
let's rank wrestlers based on attraction. Go.
Yeah.
go. Well, so I have to give in very quickly. Little Raho is becoming one of my favorite wrestlers. She is awesome.
Yeah, I don't think she knows she's 90 pounds.
I don't think she cares that
Yeah.
she's 90. She is awesome.
The crowd
man.
loves her. The crowd loves her.
I love her.
She hasn't spoken a lick of English.
No.
And I don't think it cares.
I don't
They
care.
don't care.
I don't care. For her to get in at 90 pounds, and she's in here, and I'm here to tell you, Hater's not a little woman.
No.
Sakuraka is not, or however you say her name, is not a little woman.
Haters got it going on.
And she was in there, and she held her own with
Yeah.
both of them. at one time, both of them were attacking her, and she was getting it, man. So I like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Before that match, it was Private Party versus the Dark Order.
I'm going to tell you this, and I know they were your guys. You liked them but the Dark Order has to go.
The Dark Order were the Dark Order is not my guys. My guys are the Young Bucks and Best Friends, and SCU.
Well, I like SCU too,
and the Lucha Brothers.
I like them too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm growing apart from them right now.
They gotta go, man.
Yeah, they need to bring another heel in.
If
I don't know.
I just they're not good enough to be a heel. To be the heel of the main heel of the tag team division.
Yeah,
they just don't. They don't have it. They're not there yet.
Yeah, I think the crowd was yelling, this is awful or this is boring. Or
yeah,
something.
they were chanting. I think it was this is awful.
Yeah,
but
and I think they only did it whenever the Dark Order had the upper hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whenever the Dark Order was, they just don't have them as a heel, but don't have them as the heel. Don't push them as like the big heel of the tag team division. They're not there yet. I'm not a fan of the Private Party either.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of them.
You can kind of tell that they're still learning.
Yeah, they're definitely learning and prove me wrong. I'm always out. Not again, and I'll say not that you have to prove me wrong.
Right.
But I want you to. I want you to succeed. I want you to be good wrestlers. Because I want to see you wrestle and I want to see good wrestling. But if you can't,
yeah.
They say, hey, if you can't cook, get out the kitchen.
Brandy Rhodes did a promo right after the girls match, and she was talking like she's like on the big chair with wine and a cigarette or something, and trying to make some nice quotes or something, and they kept flashing like shots of Awesome Kong. Yeah, but that's not a surprise to me. Yeah, they already had on the very first pay-per-view before AEW started. They were
I don't think they necessarily meant it as a surprise. I think she was just making it well known. Like, look,
yeah, I mean,
you come after me, this is what you get.
I mean, that works if you haven't watched any AEW pay-per-views. Yeah, it works that way.
And I haven't, so
yeah.
But I did like, she's like, hey, I'm only here because of my husband. You think I'm only here because I'm pretty? You think I'm only here because of this? Because of that? I thought that was just kind of funny because she's really saying I'm only here because I've got Awesome Kong.
Yeah, she was kind of saying on here because Dusty Rhodes goes as the American Dream, right? And Cody goes as
the American Nightmare.
American Nightmare. So I think she's trying to build her own thing. She says here, where is it at? She says she knows both dreams and nightmares, and that nothing stands against a night terror. So she's.
Oh, that's right. She did say that.
Yeah. So she's saying that she's the night terror. I think she means Awesome Kong.
That's what I'm saying. She's saying that Awesome Kong is I'm here and I'm going to stay here because I got Awesome Kong. Yeah. Which I'm a fan of. Yeah. I'm okay with that. If you want to come out and you want to have Awesome Kong do your wrecking work, let her wreak havoc.
Sean Spears was fighting Brandon Cutler.
I have to, man. I'm a big Sean Spears fan. Yeah, I love them as the perfect 10 as Ty Dillinger. I just and I love it when he does his 10 to their face. Yeah, I'm a big fan, man.
Brandon Cutler is he's like a best friends to the Young Bucks, and so they were coming up whenever he was wrestling with them whenever they're coming up. But since he's been with AEW, he's pretty much just a jobber. So
you could tell he was a jobber in that match.
Yeah, so they were setting up Joey Janela. I don't know if you know Joey Janela. Mm-mm. He's an independent guy, and he's fought Kenny Omega, and he's fought like John Moxley, but he's always lost. And his deal is like extreme stuff like barbed wire and tax and stuff like that, and falling onto double stacked tables and stuff like that. So I guess he's setting up for the pay per view this weekend. Him and Joey Janela is going to get into a match, but I think Sean Spears is a big dude. Joey Janela, he's small, so I don't know how that's going to work.
I'm happy that Sean Spears is over here and he got away from They did not use him enough in WWE.
Yeah, his shirt when he came out, his shirt says "No more wrestling, no garbage wrestling."
No more garbage wrestling
So,
is what it says. I love it. I love it because I mean he's an excellent talent.
Yeah,
and they just did not use him enough, and the crowd loved him.
Yeah,
man, when he stepped out, it was 10. They loved him.
Yeah,
they just did not use him enough over there. So I'm happy he's over here.
Yeah,
and to see him wrestling because I think he's a great talent.
The main event was Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara against Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
And Kenny Ortega. Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say it, Kenny Omega. Which Omega and Moxley have a match.
Yeah.
Full gear.
So that, I thought that was the match of the night.
I did. I liked it, and I'll tell you this: I liked how Guevara. I liked that they put him with somebody as seasoned as Jericho, but I loved it because whenever he would come to tag, Jericho was like, "No, I'm not ready."
Yeah,
he said, "You stay in there and learn. You stay in there and do your thing."
Yeah,
and then when Jericho was ready, he was like, "Okay, I'm ready. Come in." I loved it. I absolutely loved it because that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, I think it ended with.
It ended in a dadgum brawl. Is what it ended in.
Swaggart or Hager.
Yeah, Hager.
He got involved. And,
Moxley.
Well, yeah, John Moxley came out
and faced or I was about to say Ortega, Omega in the ring, and then Ortiz and Santana
and Pac came out,
and Pac,
Tupac,
Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks came out.
Yeah.
Cody.
That's right. Cody did come out.
So they were just setting up for the whole deal.
They were just, I mean, I'm cool with that. I thought it was. I just. The thing I hate about whenever they bring all these dadgum barbed wire crap in here and all that, they just sit there and they walk around with these barbed. You're never going to hit somebody with that crap. I'd rather you come out there without the barbed wire and hit somebody with it. Don't bring the barbed wire because you're not going to use it. Now I know they land on it and stuff like that, but they're not going to smack somebody with a barbed wire bat. So don't bring it.
Yeah,
it's not intimidating.
Don't bring it if you're not going to use it.
Yeah. I'd rather you bring just a regular bat and actually smack them with it because they'll smack you with a real bat. But anyway, I do think that was the match of the night. I would put the girls match up there, the women's match up there too, because that was a great match.
It was
a really good match. So,
you want to talk WWE or no?
I'm down if you want to. I just, like I said, man, I'm just not feeling WWE right now.
Yeah.
They just do a lot of stupid crap. And they push the wrong people, man.
Well, I'll say this. The only thing I'm going to talk about is the Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio deal. I don't understand that.
Why? Because there's no way that Mysterio is going to beat him. There's no reason to push that.
The only thing I'm thinking is that WWE wants to give Ray one more shot at WWE before he retires.
Then don't make it against Brock Lesnar because it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
That's just so dumb. It's so dumb. It's garbage.
I think without anybody knowing, they switched championships on shows. So I think Brock went over to Raw and Bray Wyatt went over to SmackDown. So the Universal title's now over at SmackDown. WWE title's now over at Raw now.
Yeah.
They did that without announcing it anywhere, but they kind of did it on the shows.
Yeah.
So
Why do you think they did that?
I don't know. Maybe Raw was suffering from ratings. And, and Fox.
Why do you think they're suffering?
From ratings, probably.
I can tell you. I mean, so why do you think they're suffering?
Because Fox has got the pizzazz and
you know why they're suffering?
Why?
Garbage!
Content. They're struggling. I mean, just as a novice, I can see that. It's just like, doesn't seem like anything really has any structure.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they're grasping at straws. They need better writers.
They definitely need better writers. They need to push. I don't get why they're putting the smallest guy against they're like playing
It's
this.
two different species, okay?
Yeah.
So, almost.
It's a Chihuahua and a freaking Great Dane.
Or,
Okay,
you know,
Yeah.
a bull mastiff.
a bull mastiff. Yeah, come on. and to insult the viewer's intelligence by
Right.
like we're going to believe that Rey Mysterio has an opportunity,
It's like
has a chance.
mosquito and an elephant.
It's just man, I just don't like them right now. Okay,
Yeah, I got you.
and if they change, I'll come back. Get rid of Brock Lesnar. I'll
Yeah.
come back. I can't stand Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
I
know,
liked him in the the UFC. but
UFC. Yeah.
I liked it when he got his face beat in.
Yeah. I love.
I liked it when Alistair Overeem kicked him in his gut and made him fall down.
That's so fucked up, man. Because he's got ulcerative.
Well, he
colitis.
shouldn't be in the ring then.
He shouldn't have been, and that's why he ended up stepping away
Exactly.
because he had that. But I feel that, man, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what's wrong with me. You know, doctors. So, but I can feel that. Oh
But
my
you're not going to
God.
get in a UFC ring.
Hell no.
Exactly.
But a lot of those fighters struggle with that shit anyway.
Yeah.
That's kind of common because they gotta eat so damn much. Can you imagine how much trying to keep cut weight and stuff that he had to put on? I mean, he isn't exactly
Yeah.
in the top fighting shape in
But you know what?
WWE that he was then. But Jesus.
He would crush me like a freaking water.
He's gonna get paid more in WWE than he's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
anywhere, So
And
and do less.
if I ever came
Absolutely.
face to face with that guy and he was like, "You hate me, huh? Oh, I love you."
What is
Yeah.
it? I seen.
Give me a hug.
This video, of course, it was scripted. It was the guy from Modern Family that plays Uncle Cam. It's like, I'm going to punch the next guy I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And it's fucking Brock Lesnar.
That's like, yeah, you're not punching that dude.
I'm gonna punch the second guy.
Well, if you punch him, it's not. You better punch him with a dadgum sledgehammer or shoot him. I don't even know if you can shoot the guy. I don't even know if that'll work.
It's like old Sasquatch. Whenever you do that, he'll just
It
piss him
just
off.
piss him off. He's a beast. He really is.
Shooting a BB at a fridge. Harry.
Exactly.
You know, I watched Raw and Smackdown. I mean, Raw this week, and it just the show that I don't know. It just didn't. They're setting up, for Survivor Series, NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, and
That's what it all feels like anymore. It's like they don't give a shit about their regular weekly stuff. They're just trying to set up for their. I mean,
The pay-per-views.
that's always kind of how it been. But you still got good content in between.
yeah.
But now it just seems like, oh, let's just phone this in until we get to our pay-per-view.
I don't know, but I'm probably still gonna watch pay-per-view anyway. So
I'm still gonna watch it.
that's just how I am. We are 2 hours and 12 minutes. So you guys want to call it a night?
I can sit here and talk.
Yeah.
I can talk all night.
Let's go back around and start over.
Yeah, let's do another minute.
Another minute? Okay.
Okay.
No, our long minute.
Our another minute.
Oh yeah.
Our another
Our
minute.
TARDIS minute.
We're only a minute in. We're a minute and 13 seconds in. 2 hours later.
The special Thursday edition.
Yeah, Thursday edition. Bigfoot Club.
So you got any shout outs you want to do before we
Bigfoot Club.
That's self-serving a little bit.
Sorry. Bigfoot Club.
I'm not ready for that.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited, man.
Yeah, I can see. Or I can hear.
Yeah, you can hear.
Yeah.
So, again,
Let's see.
shout out to my wife and my babies. They're probably at home asleep right now.
Yeah.
So, but I love them.
Shout out to Batchy and Cardo.
Bashy, Carter Bashy.
So
Of course.
Come on, Ash. You never shout out to anybody.
Man, I don't know.
Shout out to somebody. Shout out to Bigfoot Club.
If my friends would tell me that they're actually listening, then maybe I would.
dang.
Oh, shots fired. Shots
sure
fired.
they
Pew,
do.
pew, 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 pew.
Let's see.
Pew, pew.
I'll give one out to my boy Brian A. Thompson.
What's up, Brian?
Hi, Brian. If you're listening, maybe he likes the wrestling.
Yeah, B.
He's one of my rock and roll buddies.
What up, B?
Yeah.
You think he'd like to be called Bri?
I call him Batman.
Batman?
Because his name is Brian A. Thompson.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
I'm going to call him Bri.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Who else?
What about that girl in New York?
Oh, Diana.
New York.
My buddy dies. She's a big wrestling person. Yeah.
She likes that wrestling?
She likes them wrestling. She was trying to get in to be, I guess it would be a manager for
okay.
whatever they got the independently or whatever down in Georgia, in Atlanta.
Do it.
She almost won, but I think because she's a girl. But yeah, she's pretty great. If she'll actually listening, I told her last week that I shouted her out. So I don't know when we were talking shit about the Yankees, but
the Spankies.
Yeah. She's a New Yorker. It's either if you have to choose between them and the Mets, I'd go with the Yankees.
Spankies.
Dang.
You're ruthless, man.
Okay.
Hey, listeners.
So this is our 6th
See
episode.
money. See money. Vote.
No.
No, we don't even we have no polls.
Just say.
Sorry.
So you wait until now
To do it on key.
At the end of everything, I don't know. Maybe one out to all the duders. I don't know. To my buddies on the internet web.
The internets.
the internets.
The internet's my Brandon Ferris crowd. Can give a shout out to Brandon. He don't need it.
Yeah.
Because he's doing good. He's hustling. I love him. I hope I get to go see him next month.
Do you think he'll download our stuff?
I don't know if I tell him about it. I it's kind of hard to get a hold of him because,
That'd be kind of cool if he did.
millions of people are trying to message him. Hey, Brandon, can you say my name? Can you give me some money?
Say my name. Say my name.
But we'll see. I mean,
Tell him to.
There. Yeah.
Tell him.
He would if it's just getting a message to him because his inbox is so full.
Just send us our link to him.
But if you guys don't watch his videos, you should because he's awesome.
Yeah.
And I love him. He's the sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah, he's tiny.
He's tiny. You want to put him in your pocket.
Put him in your pocket, walk away. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna call it a night.
Night.
Thank you everybody for downloading and listening to our 6th episode. I'm okay with that. So
See money out.
no,
It's gonna happen.
no,
It's not ever gonna happen. Stop trying to make that happen. It's never gonna happen.
If I call you anything, it'll be Sea Dog. I'm not gonna be Sea Money. Sea Dog. Yeah. No.
Ruthless.
See you next Sunday.
All right.
See you next podcast.
All right, brothers. We're out.